Well, I guess you never know when a project's gonna strike ya. As it turns out, I have 3 of these RCA WO-33B. I don't remember where I got all 3 of them. I know that 2 of them were eBay purchases many years ago, and I think one was a swap meet purchase. So here you can see that this one has some sort of modification, but all 3 of these are probably different. I haven't opened up any one of these, so I'm not sure really what my intention here is. I think obviously I want to get one of them at least restored to pristine condition, because this has a cool feature that I'll show you about that this particular series only offered, and some series didn't, but we're very close to. This is probably the premium in that series back in the day for our RCA small portable television and radio oscilloscope repairman tools, the guy in the field, right? So you can see this one here has a little bit of damage on the casing here. It's bent in on both sides, so I'll have to straighten that. These units slide out this way. I've worked on some of the what are they? They're the RCA WOs. Geez, I got one here somewhere. Yeah, the 33As. That's right. I've got a couple of 33As, and these are the 33B, and don't see these a lot. So I don't know if I got the last of them or what, but at any rate, we're gonna check it out, and I'll open up all 3 and we'll see what we have, and see if any of them look like they're repairable, and maybe I can get all 3 of them running and sell a couple or give a couple, maybe to a school. These 2 look pretty identical, hey? So maybe a little bit of difference in the knobs, some of the knobs, but maybe not. These look pretty good. This one looks relatively clean, really. Yeah, almost not even any dust on there. This one, again, looks like there's a fuse holder here, and it says 3/8 amp slow blow. I don't know what the purpose of that is. Guess we'll find out when we open it up. So no time like the present. I'll get the cases off these, and then we'll continue. So I'll start with one of these. Let's see. Looks like this one. Some of these don't even have screws in them. Oh, geez. All right, well, this one doesn't even have screws, so let's start with this. Fairly dusty inside. Oh, well, looks like this is where the cord used to go. Got the original electrolytics here, so we can see that. Original electrolytics. So those will have to go and get changed. A lot of resistors that the value will have to get checked on. But the CRT seems to be in good physical condition. Looks like we've got the original tubes there. All right, so that one's good. Let's see about this one. This one's coming out of the case as it is. Wow. All right, this one still has the cord attached. And this one has, again, a whole lot cleaner than that one, that's for sure. Again, looks like the CRT's fit, has the radiation shield on there. Let's see, it has the shield on there, not radiation shield, but at any rate, oh, wow, well, looks like this one's had some work done to it. A couple of newer electrolytics. This one doesn't look like it's very secure in there. Looks like they did some quality work, though. I mean, I'm seeing some shrink wrap on these caps. Some questionable resistors there. Looks like maybe they ran out of one value and added a couple values together. Let's do a close-up on that. Let's see if we can see that. See those resistors right there? It's a little odd. At any rate, all right, let's see the third one. Now this one I'll have to do off camera because I gotta bend these out, so we'll be back. Okay, and lastly, here's our third one. All 3 of these look fairly similar. These 2 particularly look like no work has been done to them. This one looks like there's been quite a bit of work. I can even see some caps that have been replaced here. Like here you can see a ceramic cap, and here you can see some sort of green replacement on that one. Other than that, these potentiometers all look stock. Again, the tubes look original. They all say RCA that I can see from where I'm standing. And the shields look good, so that's a great start. So let's flip these puppies on their face. So here you can see this one has the factory electrolytics there, and that's good. This one here has factory electrolytics. That's good because that gives me a fresh start. And this little transformer that we'll talk about shortly, which is why this unit's kind of a little bit exciting for me. And looks like this is where the power cable used to go. And let's see, are these, so this is interesting. This is a three-prong power cable. Oh, and there's a label on it that says 110. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, cool. And then this one looks like it's been worked on here. Yeah, this is much different here. This one has a whole terminal tie strip installed. And it looks like, oh no. Let me get these two out of the way here, off to the side, since we know these are pretty factory. And let's look at this one a little bit more close up. I'm seeing some things that are causing me to have some concern. So again, you can see that somebody has put a whole array of caps in here. Now, why would they put those caps in there? And yeah, why would the caps be in there and then not be in the other ones that are more original? Well, you can see here that this here, oh, there's two of them. All right, so there's two of them here. You can see on one that hasn't been messed with, these are, looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4 caps in this can. So these are multi capacitor cans. There's several caps inside each of these cans. Looks like there's 4 of them in there. And then let's see on the other one. I can't see any markings on that one. Let's look at the other one. Same thing, a little bit different configuration. You can see that these ones are shorter, but they're, again, both caps. I can't read the values on. We'll have to get the schematic out, take a look. But this is interesting. So it looks like this one is missing. See those caps? These are where the caps used to sit. And they've taken those caps out and they have replaced them with this, I'm assuming. I don't know if I necessarily like that movement in there. This one may actually be ready to fire up. I don't know. Not that this is a bad thing, but it looks like they, again, added some resistors there. And when you put 2 resistors like this in parallel, what you're doing is you're trying to create for one resistor that you don't have. So hopefully whoever replaced these, those were 1/4 watt resistor values to begin with, because you can't do that in reverse. You can't take 2 1/4 watts and expect a value of a 1/2 watt, right? So hopefully these were quarters and then they just were looking for that resistance value. So, but what's neat about this particular model is something that I haven't had a chance to play with yet. But if you've watched my channel and you know anything about me, I'm big into curve tracers, right? You know, everything from my scope mate to my hand-built curve tracer to, you know, just the curve tracer technology in electronic troubleshooting I find is a great help. This has a feature, I'll try to zoom in. This has a feature called Quick Trace. And what this is a curve tracer, believe it or not, built right into the oscilloscope, which is awesome. So you don't need to have a separate unit. Back in the day, if you were going out working on televisions or radios out in the field and you were a repairman back in the 50s and 60s, if you had one of these puppies, you could go out in the field and you can see this little transformer right here. Now again, I don't have the schematic at the moment, but I will look it up. It's got to be available online somewhere. I may even have one of the original manuals floating around. I've got to look through my stash. But at any rate, this transformer is involved in the circuitry for that quick tracer, or actually it's a curve tracer that's in there, I believe. Just from the recesses of my brain from who knows when. At any rate, so I think that what I'll do is let's try to fire this one up and see if it works. And if it does, then we'll get a base test on this one, and I will restore the other 2, take probably the better of the 2 to start with, and we'll make a video out of that one. Well, what do you know? I was able to find a manual online, and here you can see it's in the PDF reader that I have on my iPad, but we can see that this is the 3-inch oscilloscope WO-33B series, and I think that that's the scope right there. And then this is their series they were offering back in, well, maybe we'll try to find out what year this is. Maybe the manual will tell us. Let's go to page 2, take a look. Yep, so we can see here, signal tracing probe. And I've got the probes lying around somewhere. We'll get to all that. But before we do anything, just so you know, I do have the manual, so that's going to be fun to go through. And the unit itself is here. The one that looks like it was worked on. Now I'm taking a big chance here. I'm going to just plug this in straight away. Not going to bother with a variac. It looked like in further examination, I looked at all those caps. They look relatively new. I spot checked a couple of them. Spot checked a couple of those resistors that look like they had been replaced. They seem to be spot on with the schematic. So hopefully this turns on and doesn't blow the blue magic smoke. So what do you think? Here we go. It's plugged in. I'm just going to go for it. Well, that's good sign. Looks like we've got the neon light glowing there. We'll see if we get a trace on the... Oh, is that a trace coming? It is. Oh, she's real wobbly. Oh my. Wonder if that's a dirty pot. That is a trace with some problems. Look at that. Let's see if the horizontal position, well, that works. Ooh, but that's got some issues. Can you see that happening? I wonder if that's a tube. That could be a tube. Something is highly unstable inside there. That is not a good sign. Let me turn the lights down here a little bit lower so we can kind of see that on the screen. Oh my, yeah, that's definitely got some issues. So there's a little a green plastic film on here. Turn the light back on. This plastic film that's on here is just a little guide. Oh, now look at that. That something got stable there. So that could have been static electricity built up on the phosphor, making that trace do that, possibly. You guys out there that know more about these can tell me about that in YouTube land. Let's see, the vertical works, so that's good. Horizontal position, that was working good. Focus. Oh, all right. So we got basically a kind of a sharp trace on there. Oh, there goes that jiggling again. Whoa, see, I'm not touching it. It's just doing that on its own. So we've definitely got some issues there. Vertical cal, sync phase. Well, the knob turns anyway. Verner sweeper. No action there. High gain. All right, so got a gain value there. Normal and extension switches. And here, of course, let's see if these even turn. Okay, that's a good sign. At least the switches turn. Oh, that's a calibration. Now, if I remember right, that should be pretty close to a circle. So this thing is way off cal. That's for sure. Our speed. Yeah. So looks like it's online. So online there, oh, what was it on? It was on quick trace? I'm not sure. You can see a little bit of a difference there when it goes to the quick trace circuit here. And then when it's on the line. Let me grab a probe and see what we get. All right, well, look at this action. So this is the quick trace probe. And much like any curve tracer, we should have, be open here for the horizontal. And when we touch the probes together, we should get a vertical, and we do. So that tells me straight away that quick tracer works in here. Isn't that awesome? So if I grab a component, so for instance, if I grab let's just say a poly cap here, we should get some sort of circle, and we do. Not a great looking circle, but that's going to be the curved tracer, or what we call Lissajous pattern of this particular cap. So there's that. So we know that quick tracer is working. So now, just for fun, I pulled a random transistor out of my parts bin, and we can take a look at this. On one side, we've got a chair rail, and the other side we've got some crazy squiggly line. Now, put my finger on there, you can see I can move that line. I'm not touching the metal, just the transistor itself, and you can see it's causing some inductance there. But that might just be a point of calibration. But at any rate, the quick tracer works just fine. Very cool. And if we look at the manual itself, it shows us here that, you know, here's the quick tracer and its QT functions, and it shows us a basic setup for emitter base collector on a transistor, and then it shows us several different styles of lissajou patterns, what to look for: transistor tests, resistor tests, capacitor tests. And so it just goes through a whole gamut of things that this particular unit can test. So very cool. Man, what it must have been for a technician to have this in the field. You know, again, in the 50s and 60s, working on units in the field. This is an invaluable tool for back then. So let's look now. I'll turn the light on for a second. Let's look at the probe here. So this is an RCA WO-33B. This is the probe for this unit. And you can see we've got low cap times 10. So I think this is times 1, this is times 10 maybe, or the other way around. I don't know. Quite dirty. A lot of this has just been sitting around waiting for me to do something with it, and traveling around with me for a long time, waiting for me to get back into Hobbyland. So at any rate, that's where I'm at. So, okay, so let's take a look. Oh, look at that. Very cool. So that's 500 hertz for this style of oscilloscope. That's a pretty good trace. Now you can see it bouncing on there. That's an indication of something unstable in the power supply. So, like I say, somebody has worked on this prior to me. They have tried to restore it, and they've done probably an okay job, but it may need more calibration, and it may need some more tender loving care. So I intend to give that to it, and I have a fully working unit here. I feel pretty confident about it. So the other ones, I guess we'll do a video next time of a full restoration from original parts up to modern day, and see if we can get better than the results of whoever worked on this one. So cool. See you next time.